Hi, welcome guys to episode 158. It's on ADHD and perfect pitch part 6. Alright, let's continue. So, the rarely interesting combination that I'm talking about is ADHD mixed with perfect pitch. And both are neurologically and experimentally, fascinating. So let's break it down a little bit. Perfect pitch is linked to early and consistent musical exposure, especially before the age of 5. There's strong auditory memory, particular brain structures in the planum, temporale, and auditory processing area in your brain. What ADHD affects involves differences in attention regulation, working memory and executive function, dopamine. I need dopamine. More. And neuroepinephrine signaling in the brain. People with ADHD often experience sensory sensitivity, intense focus on specific interests, and non-linear thinking. We think outside the box. That's why we're awesome at innovation and just anything like this vape, like what I do. Look, it's a hospital band. That's what ADHD people do. All right, connection between perfect pitch and ADHD. There isn't a ton of formal research linking to the two, like I said before, but several possible connections and anecdotal overlaps exist. First, heightened sensory sensitivity. Many people with ADHD have stronger than average responses to sensory input, such as sound, light, texture, etc. That auditory sensitivity might make it easier for some to notice and remember pitch details. I don't call that perfect pitch. Perfect pitch, it comes naturally. And I'll think of what to say. Right now, it's something that I want to say in my brain that can come up. Auditory working memory. Perfect pitch relies on forming and recalling stable auditory label for notes. And that is not perfect pitch. If you're remembering it, yeah, it could be perfect pitch before you're 5 years old, but it should be coming naturally. Or else you're practicing to try to have perfect pitch, but it's actually relative pitch because you're trying to remember the actual reference note. That make sense? Awesome. All right, continue. ADHD can make memory inconsistent, but for areas of high interest such as music, people often show enhanced memory and focus. Next, my favorite, hyperfocus and pattern recognition. During periods of hyperfocus, someone with ADHD might develop unusually deep awareness of pitch, intervals, and tone color, supporting perfect pitch or relative pitch training. So, okay, I'll talk about this later. It's interesting. It relates to what I talk about a few episodes, many episodes of my talk show, whatever it is. All right, emotional reactivity to sound. Both ADHD and perfect pitch can make people very emotionally responsive to music. Yeah, I do that when I smoke weed. Sometimes I cry. Or even the sound that feels out of tune. I have this thing where I call it acapella-gasm. It's kind of funny because when I hear perfect pitch and a perfect note that somebody is singing, whether it's a high note or low note or whatever, wow, it's like I get shivers. I know that it's perfect tone. Nothing's missing. It's I don't know how people without perfect pitch hear. I really don't. And I really hope that they can hear what I hear, but that's not possible in adults at all. I think I was born with it, seriously. So, what to hypothesize? Let's see. All right. Well, my son, I know you guys are getting bored. There's no published study specifically examining a cohort of people, and we talked about that already. There's little data. There's also, hypothesis 1, heightened sensory sensitivity, auditory working memory, hyperfocus and pattern recognition, emotional reactivity to sound. So the hypothesis A is that individual with ADHD might have a higher prevalence of AP compared to the general population, perhaps because of unusual attention and sensory processing. Hypothesis B states that, conversely, ADHD's attention instability or executive function challenges, let's make that positive, okay, might reduce the likelihood of clean PP development or make use of PP more difficult. Huh? That makes actually no sense to me. Hypothesis C. If someone has both ADHD and perfect pitch, they might experience unique profiles, which means someone's on my phone right now. For example, a very acute pitch memory, but difficulty sustaining the memory over a longer period of time. And in attention domains as well, that makes ADHD a bit more prone to listening to other sounds around them because of our inattention. That can become a superpower, and that helps us understand and hear notes. And I think that's why a lot of ADHD or people that has perfect pitch when they're young, before 5, has ADHD traits as well. For me, and I think everyone should too, is to get a proper psychologist report that is legally binding for every single institution, university, standardized testing like LSAT, MCAT, GMAT, everything. Get proper testing and get proper accommodation, and you'll find your superpower much more powerful. Thank you.